Okay, so this is a demo about starting out and using InDesign, some of the basics of just getting your content into the document. InDesign is for creating multiple pages, so think books, think magazines, but it's actually used by graphic designers to lay out any kind of page, even small pages, even business cards. Um, so it's versatile, and it's a really good one to know. It's definitely one of the three. If you should know InDesign as well as Photoshop and Illustrator. Hopefully, you'll get there. In terms of which kind of document you want to open, you usually want document. Book sounds like you'd want to use it if you were making a book or a magazine, and you might, but what it does is it lets you combine a variety of InDesign documents. So say it was a magazine and you had one person working on one section of it and another was working on another section, then you could combine all those separate files together in your book. Now, document is what we want, and we're going to pick the print option. There's also web or digital publishing, and we're going to do 4 pages for this. We're going to choose facing pages. Letter is fine. The margins are kind of big. Let's try really small. We'll see what that's like. And this was linked, so it did the top, bottom, inside, outside. And the other thing we're going to do, you're going to show your options. So where it says more options, we're actually going to do a bleed, and a bleed is going to allow for photos to go outside if you want to do that. And I don't know if you'll want to do that for this, but for the magazine spread you guys are going to do on your own, you really might want to explore that as an option. And we're going to use the 0. We're going to add a 0.25. And then now you can click the little chain, it'll put them on all of them, and then say OK. One thing I didn't do, let's add this. Let's go to Edit, and this is if you or File rather, if you need to change things. Under Document Setup, let's put some columns in there. So hopefully it still lets me do the columns. Well, no, it's not going to do that. But that's okay, because we can go ahead and add them. We're going to go to Layout, and we're going to go to Margins and Columns. So another way to adjust that. And you can adjust your margins that way if you want to change them. If you want to change the width between any columns, you can do that too. So I'll go ahead and say Enable Layout Adjustment, and we'll say 2 and OK. And that way we have, this isn't really going to make your text go into a column, but it allows you to see where they would be. You can have 3 columns in a magazine page pretty easily if you want to. You could maybe even get away with 4 if you had really narrow columns. We'll start out with 2. We can always adjust that if we want to. Now, notice that when I scroll, I can see, and you can try that out too, you can see all your pages. So you've got one page, then you've got page 2 and 3, which are facing pages, and then page 4. And there's a page panel, and let's get into the same workspace. So we're going to go to Window, Workspace, and we're going to use Essentials. And I have stuff open that you guys don't have. So I'm gonna, let's see, how do I get rid of that? Doesn't have a close option. There, it does. Let me get rid of all those. Oh no, it's not taking it off. there, no, there we go. So I would take them off. Sorry, I don't usually try to take panels off. So all of those you have. Okay. And we'll add the other ones to it because those are handy to have. So first thing we're going to do is you need the Mark Ryden folder that's in handouts. It's exercise 1, and put that on your desktop so it's easy to get to. We're going to go in and we're going to place all of our images, and then we're going to put in our type, and then we're going to start to edit it. And I'm going to break this up. I think maybe I'll do one demo that's going to be putting in the pictures and using Adobe Bridge and Adobe Mini Bridge, and then I'll do another one that's showing the type, and finally I might put it in, but there's going to be one that uses clipping paths too, and that has the type flowing around pictures. Okay, so adding pictures. You can go ahead and you can place pictures in if you want to. Here's how you do it. You go to File, you choose Place, and you go find your pictures. I found my folder. I'm going to grab a picture. I'm going to say Open, and then if I just click, it's going to put that picture in full size. If I click, and let's see, I want to be on the first page. If I click and drag, it's going to put the picture within that area that I drag into. So we're going to need a variety of pictures, and you can adjust them if you hold Shift and Option and you grab them. Oops. Come here, picture. Shift and Command, rather, and you drag them. They'll size for you. Notice that the first time I did it, it just moved the frame, and that is one thing that's a little tricky to get used to with InDesign. It kind of has a separate frame for picture and for the outside. So, you know, you can crop easily. You don't have to take it into Photoshop to cut it. All you do is move the frame. But sometimes it's a little confusing when you're first learning because, you know, and I still do this, you end up by mistake moving the frame or moving the picture off the frame too. And I especially am doing that with this version because they've really changed. They've made it more complicated when you go to move a picture. You used to just be able to grab it and drag it. And now, see this little guy? If you click on this, when you move the picture, it's going to move the picture separately within the frame. So you don't want to do that necessarily. If you don't want to do it, and I still keep doing it by mistake, you want to grab anywhere else and you want to move it. And I still think it's a little buggy. I don't think it's all me. But, you know, when you grab it and move it, just be careful because sometimes it'll move your picture outside of the frame, and then that's really irritating. So we brought a picture in using Place, and when you place, it automatically links the picture. So here we have our links panel, and we see that picture. So all is good there. If you copy paste a picture in, it will not link it. But now let's show using Bridge. And Bridge is, there's a big version of Bridge. There's little icons here. And that lets you get to the desktop. I can open that folder and I can see all the pictures. I don't like using it because, you know, going back and forth is kind of a pain. So I usually minimize it. And I use Mini Bridge, or I don't use it at all. Sometimes I don't use it just because I feel like it's slow. But to use it, we're going to go up here, and you have to have Bridge already running. And then if you just click this, it's going to open Bridge, the big Bridge. But if you want to simply have Mini Bridge, it's a shift click, and it tells you that if you look. And that opens a nice little Mini Bridge, and that'll let you get to your pictures. So, you know, you might need to find them, but they'll be there, and you can drag the little panel over and drop it, and then it's happily right in there, and you don't want to open it. There you go. So when you go to get more pictures, you drag and you drop, or I didn't do that. I actually kind of let go of it, but it's actually going to let me draw it in. So I can draw in and put it in that way. And I'm going to do that with all of these. Go in the same area. I don't know that they'll stay that size. I would decide that later. And then I'm trying to remember. These are all the same painting, which is why they should go together. And then I think they talk about this album cover, and this was one that he designed. So let's put that in here. And remember, I don't have columns on these pages, so I would go layout, margins and columns, try out my columns. Maybe I'll try 3 just for the heck of it. So I would put those in, since I didn't put it in at the beginning. When you first make it, you can do it then too. And I've got one more picture to bring in. Go ahead and drag and drop that, and oh no, 2 more actually. Let's put this one down here, and we'll put this one here. Okay, so we got our pictures. Now that was pretty fast, so maybe I'll put type in this demo too. Type. We have a document, and that document is, come here, mouse. The mouse is being buggy. It's showing on I have 2 screens. It's showing on the one screen but not the other. There you are, mouse. Okay, so our text is also in that folder. And let me open that and show it. So we're going to open it. It's Mark Ryden interview. And it's going to tell you that it's old, because it is. But just open it, and it should open for you. You might have to try it a couple times. Okay, so first I'm going to grab everything, and then I'm going to copy, Command C, and I'm going to pop over here into InDesign. So it's in my clipboard, which is nice. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make a type box, and there's different ways you can do it. Let's go ahead and maybe use only 1 picture or 2 pictures here, and then we'll move this one down. So you could make 1 big box, and you could do 2 columns in the box and have it flow, or you can draw 2 boxes, and let's show that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw a box. I'll show both ways. And then I'm going to draw another box. And while I'm at it, I'm going to shrink this box down a little, and I'm going to make a title box. And we'll keep this simple for this. It'll just say Mark Ryden in it. And then now we're going to link the boxes. So to do that, we're going to grab the black arrow, and basically these little rectangles are inflow, outflow of your text. So we're going to click the outflow on this one, and it gives us this little paragraph symbol. And then you can click, you don't have to go and click the box here, especially because you can't even see it. Don't worry about it, just click, and it'll pop it in there. And then click outflow, and go back here, and just click inside. So these guys are linked now. So the type's going to flow from here to here to here, which is quite handy. let's put it in. So I'm going to grab the type tool and I'm going to click and then I'm going to paste. So notice how that's flowing now. So that's nice. And then down here I can do the same thing. So maybe we'll move, you guys can hang out. Maybe we'll make her this detail. I'm going to hold Command Shift, not Option. I'm going to make this nice and big. Maybe we'll make it take up 2 columns width. You could even have it go outside the page because we did do that bleed. So if you wanted to, that could be cool. Whatever you decide you want to do. I think for now I'm just going to keep this in. So then I'll make a box, and let's go ahead and let's make this box have 3 columns, and we'll make it all one box just to show you how to do that. So whichever way you want to lay it out, there's not necessarily a wrong or a right. So make it go all the way to the top. And now I'm going to go in and I'm going to go back to this box with the black arrow, and I'm going to use my little output out. I'm going to click it, and then I'm going to go to this type box and I'm going to click it in. So I've got my type flowing, and it's still not finished. You can tell by that little red symbol down there that I need more boxes and I need it to flow farther. Or, I could always go ahead and adjust it too so that it's tighter, smaller. I don't know if I'd want to go smaller, but the line spacing could be tighter to fit more in too. So I'm going to want this to be more than one column now. And to do that, I'm going to go to Object, Text Frame Options, and I'll do 3 columns. And notice it very nicely fits those in there right to where my columns are on my page. So that's super handy. But right now that type is going over the picture. So let's put our picture to the front. So I'm going to grab it, I'm going to right click, I'm going to say Arrange, Bring to Front. And I'm going to do a text wrap on this now. And so I'm going to open the text wrap panel, which I had closed earlier because you guys didn't have it automatically. So Window, Text Wrap, and we'll pop this in here. We'll open it, and this one throws the type over. It's going under the picture right now. I don't know if you guys can't really see it now since I put the picture on top, but it is. So then now I'm going to go in and I don't want this one necessarily. Oh, this one would work for this actually. That's going to go to the side of it. Or you could use this one, which is going to go around, and since it goes to the edge, it doesn't matter anyways. And then if I do this one, I'm going to switch. Now I'm going to do this one because I need side and spine, I think, on this. That would do it. And then with right and left sides, I want side away from spine. And then I'm going to start to move this type. And what I'm doing, I don't know if you can see, there's a little blue line that's bouncing the type away from the picture. If I wanted to have a little heading in there, I would maybe do that, and I could also, text wrap around it, or I could just move this out so that I had enough space to say, Creatrix detail, because that's what this is. This is a detail of this painting, and this is a version of it in the gallery so you can see how big it is. So that's putting your type in and adjusting so that the type flows around it. And I think I'll stop here and then I'll go in and I'll make another one because it's getting late and I'm ready to leave.